Now, there's always a problem in politics, particularly in a democracy, that you've got a choice between doing something which is popular and doing something which is right. And the language that politicians tend to use is always that I'm doing what is right. But in fact, they've got their eye all the time on what is popular, it seems to me. And what we see from this example is a lot of people literally playing for the camera, playing for attention. We see it with the reality TV thing. We see it, for example, today there was a story about a reporter in Germany called Sarah Ohlen, and she was reporting about flash floods in Germany. We know that they've killed 200 people, and Mrs. Merkel has been out to the sites of the towns with rubble on the town, on the streets, completely destroying the town. It's going to take months to clear that up, and also, you know, we've got to consider the death rate, the people who've been injured. And yet this reporter, before doing her report, smeared her face and her blouse with mud to give the impression that she'd actually been helping in the rescue operation. No, she hadn't. This was a pose, and somebody in the town photographed her doing this and leaked the story, and actually leaked the photographs or the little video. You can actually go to YouTube, you could find that video. It's shameful. She lost her job. Why? Because she was playing for the effect. She wasn't interested in the reality. And the problem is that when you get away from reality and you get into this sort of fantasy of saying what you think people want to hear, you get into trouble. We can think, for example, we've got almost all the major leaders in our government at the moment, and actually major politicians on all sides of the House are being directed by a desire to pander to their particular clique. They're not really doing what is right. They're saying what they think people want to hear. You know, one of the prime examples of somebody who you set him going would be Mr. Gove. So it's extraordinary to have a period of time when Mr. Gove is sort of in hiding. He is the most loquacious man that I can think of. In fact, he reminds me very much of Ronnie Corbett. You could imagine him sitting in a chair telling a long, elaborate story, as indeed at some point I'm sure he's going to again. Set him going, and he just keeps going. And you know, this is the man with all these little scandals. Yes, he took cocaine. Yes, he was involved in that 5 in the bed thing. And as a result of that, he's acquired the nickname of Donkey. It's sort of humiliating that this is the sort of person who is involved in our government. Now, when I look across at other countries, for example, you know, Turkey's also got flash flooding. And when you look at Turkey, there's this very interesting president from some time ago, from the 1960s, called Adnan Menderes. And if you go to Istanbul, there's one wide road called Vatan Caddesi. And at the time when it was made, he was criticized. Now it's a major, necessary road. You know, they're building bridges across the Bosphorus, all of them criticized, but heavily used now. You know, and what happened to Adnan Menderes? Adnan Menderes was condemned. He was hanged for his efforts. Visionaries, and people are doing the right thing, not necessarily the popular thing at the time, but the necessary thing. Visionaries are not always appreciated. If you have a flood, it requires immediate action. This is why when there is a natural catastrophe and the Prime Minister, for example, is on holiday, he is expected back immediately because he has to deal with the reality on the ground. And what we want, particularly what we need during this COVID pandemic is not lots of talk, but lots of action, decisions which are then seen through, rather than talk and U-turns. And we need to be sure that our politicians, our people who are leading us, are prepared to take actions which may not necessarily be popular. And then we come to Priti Patel, because I have to finish with a Dalek impression. Priti Patel, who has gone very quiet after yesterday she was told that the police, for whom she is the figurehead and the boss, that the police have no confidence in her. Priti Patel has suddenly, I have gone quiet, I cannot be heard, oh, I better hide in a corner, I'm hiding in a corner, I cannot be seen, I cannot. Do come back and follow me and ring the bell. I'm going back to try and find Priti Patel. I don't know where she's gone to. Poor thing. She's never said anything useful in her life, I think.